Hello everyone, welcome back to Sudden Wealth Syndrome. It's a great pleasure to have you all here again. I would like to take a bit of time to talk about the crypto market, where I see things going, what am I doing, what am I planning to do, just an overall statement around the big events that we've been seeing lately. Now, we are all aware of the big SEC drama with Binance, Coinbase, Matic, Solana, Cardano, etc. So some of the major coins have been impacted. Some of the biggest exchanges have been impacted as well. There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of nervousness. There's a lot of hopelessness. A lot of red candles that create nausea and fear in everyone. So I'm here to try to give you some of my perspective around this. Now, crypto has very clear 4-year cycles. You have the bear market, 2018, 2022. They look almost exactly the same. And then you have what I call the recovery year, which was 2019, it's 2023. And during that period, although the market is going higher, Bitcoin is 25,000, for example, Ethereum is 1,750, 1,800. Although you see the market is going higher, but the rallies don't seem very consistent. You don't see these huge, green candles like a hockey stick. You see rally, selling, because a lot of people are still traumatized from the previous year. They are still in huge disbelief, and they remember the pain. So they will treat every rally with a lot of suspicion and care. Not typically, I would say about 50% of the times, you come back to the lows, you retest them, and then you go up. Usually, indeed, the Bitcoin halving will mark the start of the bull market, not exactly on the date. It tends to be a buy the rumor, sell the news event, but in the months after, you tend to see then the real bull market unfolding. Now, but focusing on the recovery year, which is where we are, I would say there's about 50% chance we go and retest the new lows. Every day that goes by, that percentage decreases. I do believe we probably will go somewhere. Bitcoin will go between 22,000, 24,000, and probably will go up after that, unless there's a big black swan. I'm talking about Binance going bankrupt, something of this level. Otherwise, it should be fine. For the holders of the coins targeted by the SEC, I do feel your pain. I had no exposure to any of them, so it doesn't really impact me, but I do feel the pain, and I do understand, after what we've seen with XRP, how damaging this can be for a project and how difficult it is, to find the motivation. And I mean, maybe the XRP decision, if it's in favor of what we all expect, maybe that can alter the way that people look at the coins being targeted right now. However, if I would be honest, this is my personal opinion, this is what I'm doing. I'm not touching those coins because I do believe that this weight of the SEC can be very punishing. Now, the US used to lead the world in terms of financial regulation. Since, I would say probably the late 90s, early 2000s, the US and particularly New York have been the financial capital of the world. Now, this was not always the case. There was a time before that where the UK, particularly London, was the financial capital of the world. And now you could ask, what happened? Why did New York overtake their spot? What happened to London? They also got somewhat of a bad financial regulator So the regulator of their markets was an idiot. Sounds familiar, right? And basically destroyed the upcoming new financial products and financial markets, the derivatives market, the trading, the commodity trading, the access of retail to a lot of the financial instruments. And New York, very well, took that, had a very innovative approach, led the regulation on that, and it became the financial capital of the world. What happened was, a few years later, London ended up copying the New York, what New York had done, but it's now too late and they've lost their spot. Sounds familiar. In Europe, you see a very concrete, very good regulatory framework for cryptos and for the industry. In the UK, same story. That's why Binance is trying to get regulated in the UK. Coinbase is considering leaving the US. Hong Kong is open for cryptos again, which is part of China. Russia is about to allow crypto trading once again. So what's happening is, thanks to one financial regulator, to the head of the SEC, the innovation and the new markets will go someplace else. Just like they went from London to New York, they will go from New York to someplace else. Now, if you look at the previous cycles, in the recovery year, there's always some sort of event that causes us to go down, many times not to the lows, but fairly close to them. Meaning maybe a Ponzi scheme out of China. Do you remember that one? Or a virus that required people to stay at home. In any case, there's always some sort of event. Maybe it's the SEC regulation. Who knows? That causes us to basically put in a double bottom, which tends to be very bullish long-term for the market. So what I'm doing is 2022, 2023, I consider them accumulation years for me. So I have a subset of coins that I like, and every time they go down fairly large amounts, I accumulate as much as I can and as much as it makes sense according to my financial life. Now, to me, 2022, 2023 is accumulation years. I don't even think about selling. 2024, probably I will stop buying towards the second half of the year. 2025, it's time to start selling. 2026 will mark another bear market. People will not believe it. A good sign of the top of the bull is when pictures of monkeys start to get sold for millions of dollars. If you are at work and the guy who never talked about crypto comes talking about crypto to you, when everybody knows the latest coin that's going to go up 1,000x, when ICOs and IDOs and private sales are going through the roof, that may be the time you can consider to get out. To me, I think this year is still perfect for accumulation. I really don't care. I've seen this movie quite a few times. It would be much easier for me to just come here and, oh my God, it's going to zero. It's it. We finished. No, the innovation will just move someplace else. Did you know that the majority of these recent rallies in crypto, the recent purchases since 2022 up to 2023, so all this rally we've seen, the majority comes from Asia. It's not even coming from the US. So, and if you have projects where you participate in projects that are actually not listed in major exchanges, or that are clearly not securities, they are finished products with no admin keys, with no company on top, with finished code, with immutable code, then you shouldn't need to worry. We will see what's going to happen. I do think Bitcoin has the potential to go lower. I do think that the coins targeted will have somewhat of a subdued bull market unless, I repeat, XRP has a huge victory. Then I think many market players will foresee similar situations for the others and will feel a bit more comfortable owning them. If you feel stressed out, if you feel that you cannot cope with all of this, just tune off. It's the summer. Try to enjoy a bit of your life. Try to enjoy your family. Don't overthink about things. Think about December 2025. That's it. You see, you'll have the urge to buy at the wrong time when the green candles are in. Now, for you to have an idea of how damaging this can be, let's say a coin goes up 30 times, 30-fold. Let's say you buy it after it went up 10-fold. Your 1,000 euros turn into 3,000 euros at the end. And if you don't sell in time, probably you'll go back to your previous 1,000 euros. If you buy before the big 10x up, 1,000 euros turn into 30,000 euros. Now that's the key. But I would like to mention that in the past it used to be much easier. You would buy the top 20 coins, the bull market would come, and you would get a couple hundred of X's in 5 or 6, and that's it. You're done. Nowadays we have 20 coins per day, sometimes more than 20 coins per day. Now it's much harder to find out which one are the good ones. Now, of course, I think the ones that I chose are the good ones, and I do have strong reasons to believe. I will mention which ones they are in the future. But, what I'm trying to say is that zoom back, get your head out of all this noise, and just see what happened in the previous cycles. Change the news, change the name of the event, but this is typical of a recovery year. Now, if you have conviction in the choices you make, like I do, I'm okay. I really don't mind. If you are not convinced, if you are afraid, if you think that, you picked projects without a good sound base for it, you will struggle throughout this entire period. Crypto, many times, I would say most of the times, is not fun. And if you're having a lot of fun, that's probably your best sign to sell. So keep that in mind. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm just trying to have you think somewhat philosophical about this. Zoom out. Look from afar. What happened in the past? Is this similar to what we used to hear? Jim Cramer is negative about it. I would say most of these things are good signs. But in the short term, things can go lower. Volatility is the price you pay for the best performing asset class in history. Never forget. So guys, see you tomorrow. And I hope that you enjoyed what I've been trying to do for you. And it has been great fun. I feel more confident than I used to be. I hope that's noticing. And see you tomorrow, guys. Have a nice evening.